had Song Yadong, one of the best names in the business, versus Henry Cejudo. Basic name, but still was pretty good in his prime. Hence the words "in his prime."
Yeah. Whoa, what are you talking about? Look,
Oh, dude.
Hen- Henry Cejudo was one of our early intros to the show. The man Triple C himself told everybody to watch our
I'm
show.
surprised we didn't have it on for this one.
Oh, we should have.
We
We
should
should
have.
have. Yeah. Well, should have been a lot of things. Uh, but yeah, this fight, Henry Cejudo, he's back. He's fighting Song Yadong. I really like the matchmaking for this.
Yeah,
At
it's a
least
good one.
it's just a good fight on paper, and it was so good while it was going. Early on, Song Yadong's reflexes, dude, holy shit! Henry couldn't touch him,
His
could
step
not
back,
touch him, dude.
dude. His hands,
Oh
super
my god!
fast.
Like one of the things I noticed is this must be something they just like drilled in like the film room or something. But Henry really likes to like jump in, like he's gonna throw a kick, but then stop and then go.
Yes,
And
yes.
he like enters with big feints all the time. And you
Big
could
feints.
see Song Yadong knew that because he wasn't really biting. He would just kind of fade back, like you said. He'd fade back, and then he knows he can go because Henry's opening with a feint, and he would just throw that right hand right
Crack
down the
him.
middle, dude.
That
And I
doesn't
was,
even look like Henry in this picture. He got hit
I
so
know,
hard, it straight up changed who he looked like. It's like an older Cheeto Vera.
it's like Chepe Mariscal, dude.
Dude, I don't
Uh,
know what happened. But Song
but
Yadong did look very good.
dude, so good. And then Henry would have beautiful timing on these takedown entries, but Song Yadong is just stonewalling him, dude, just
You don't
beating
think
him to
he's
the
seen
hips.
takedowns, dude? A team alpha male?
Olympic, how many Olympic wrestlers they got? Olympic gold medalists they got.
Not
Henry
that. I don't
Cejudo's
think they have
different, bro.
any.
But to his point or to the fairness, I guess I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say, but Henry, his entries were very good, but he wasn't like driving through them. I don't know if he was necessarily like trying to take him down on all those attempts,
Setting it up?
maybe just showing things, and maybe
Yeah.
he's like, because one of the things that Henry really likes to do is he'll fake a shot and then come up with a knee because he knows you're about to try to sprawl and get your arms down, and he'll throw a knee up. He's done that in so many fights, and you could see as the fight progressed, Song Yadong was like aggressively reacting to takedown entries, and it could
Mm.
just be that he was just setting that up and setting up that knee and things like that. But um, yeah, I thought early on Song Yadong looked so good. There was one scary moment where Henry kicked his outside leg and he got the little drop foot for a
Oh,
second,
yeah, yeah.
and I was like, oh no, because I was look, I like Henry Cejudo, but I was rooting for Song Yadong.
So was I.
I'm a fan of Yadong, and what can
Yeah.
I say?
Who's not?
Uh, yeah. um, but it was looking like Song Yadong was kind of pitching a shutout for the first two rounds, in my opinion. Um, but then that third round, Song Yadong was really destroying up until this point, also destroying Henry's lead leg.
Mm.
And you could see it was bothering him. And there was one time he hit him hard, and then Henry switched southpaw, and he pretty much stayed southpaw for the majority of the rest of the fight. Um, and the funny thing is, that's when he started having success. When he
Yeah.
switched southpaw, it seemed like Song Yadong didn't he wasn't ready for that or just didn't know what
He's
to
like,
do
"Wait,
with
that's
that.
different. I didn't see that on
Yeah.
film."
Yeah, yeah. And I could be way off on this, but I don't necessarily remember Henry Cejudo fighting a ton southpaw. I know he switched stances a lot, but
Mm.
I remember him at least primarily an orthodox fighter, but once he switched stances, it's like his jab started working like crazy, dude. And
He
Song the
must have seen
reflexes,
something. He must have seen
well,
something. Dude, Henry's IQ
it's
is
really
off the
good.
chain.
I think he was forced to switch because of the leg kicks, and it ended up just working.
Oh, that too.
I I think it was just kind of more that.
Yeah.
Um, I could be wrong. But I thought towards the second half of the third round, I thought the tides were starting to turn a little bit. I thought Henry was getting much closer, much sharper. He was landing a lot of shots. The left hand was landing behind the jab, um, and he was kind of piecing Song Yadong up a little bit. I watched
Until?
this morning. I didn't watch it live. Your boy had to watch Napoleon Dynamite. Um, but So I was out, and then I get out of the showing, and I have like a bunch of messages from people like, "What the fuck, Blunderbuff? Shout out Blunderbuff, happy birthday!"
Oh,
They're
happy
out for
birthday.
for a birthday dinner, but I had a message from him, and he was like, "You're lucky you went to go see Napoleon Dynamite instead of watching whatever shit show that was." And I was like, "Oh God, what do I have?" But it was like midnight, so I was like, "I'll watch tomorrow morning." Um, yeah, Oh, maybe they're not at dinner. Maybe they're watching at dinner. Who knows? Shout out Genevieve. Then, like 45 seconds left in the third round, and Song Yadong, the outstretched fingers, just straight into the eyes. It's so bad, dude.
It was awful.
It's so the replay, the slow mo, dude. You see him like hit, and then just the fingers just disappear.
That's so gross.
It's so bad, dude. It goes
Ugh.
right in. Um, and hey, shout out Chummy Boy. We'll get
What
to
up, chummy boy?
if you watch the UFC. Um, that, it's not good. Henry, you get 5 minutes, right? This is where all the controversy comes. So if you want to hear our takes on it, I don't know. We haven't spoken about it, so I don't know how you feel about it. But I guess I'll just keep going. I've just been the only one talking about this fight. My bad.
You're
Uh,
good. You're good.
so you get 5 minutes after a foul, a groin strike, a headbutt, an eye poke. You get 5 minutes to recover. We have complained in the past that after like 30, 40 seconds, refs are already asking, "Are you good?" And you're like, "Hey, man," because if they say they can't see, they call it. But what
Yeah.
you could see in 3 minutes or 4 minutes or five. So Herzog is giving him all the time. Henry's a legend. He's a former champion. He's keeping his cool. He's like, I got 5 minutes. I'm taking 5 minutes. I can't see right now, but I'm not going to say I can't see yet. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they give him all this stuff. And the crowd's booing, and the commentary team's talking about, oh, he's probably fine by now because he looks okay. You know,
Yeah. They're like, what a
oh, he's,
veteran move. Taking the 5 minutes.
he's just resting now. And,
Meanwhile, Song Yadong is also recharging on
yeah,
the other
and
side. Like,
yeah, and Henry, it cuts to a shot of Henry while he's getting booed, and he's crouching, and he's like, "Hey guys," and it's so funny to me that he's blind, just pretending like I'm gonna recover here, but also he's probably in his head like this is not good,
yeah.
but just straight poker face. Henry's a dog, dude. I know a lot of people are coming at him on this. Henry says, I don't know. The whole thing was too weird, and he was so smug about taking the full 5 minutes. He was trying to do something to swing the fight. I think he just couldn't see. Shout out Ghost. Thanks for joining. What's up, Ghost?
What up,
He couldn't
Ghost?
see. And you can't let the ref know that if you do want to continue. And he clearly
Yeah.
did want to continue, right? At 3 minutes 45 seconds, I just rewatched it right before we went live. 3 minutes 45 seconds into the break, the recovery window, he tells Herzog, "Hey, I want to continue. I want to continue, but I just need a little bit more time." He's like, "I'm looking at you, and I see four eyes right now." And Herzog's like, "Well, you got a minute and a half. I don't know if that's gonna fix that." And he says, "I've just never been poked like that." He's like, "I know. You got some time. You got time." And he lets him, which I think is fantastic for the ref. No
Yeah.
pressure, none of that, right? And then the 5 minutes goes by, and he's like, "Let's do it." And you're like, maybe he's fine. Maybe he was just milking it. Let's see. There's 45 seconds left in the round. He's not okay. It's immediately obvious that he's not okay. He's immediately on his back foot. His back is up against the fence. He's shelling. So Song Yadong's throwing combinations, and he's just shelling and then escaping, and then it's just that for 45 seconds.
Yeah.
The round ends. He immediately goes to his corner. He says, "I can't fucking see," and I was like, "Oh
Telling
no!"
multiple coaches. He's like, dude,
And they're
I
like, "You gotta
can't
dig deep, man.
see.
You gotta dig deep." He's like, "I can't see," um, which usually is the magic words. You say, "I can't see." That's the magic words. The fight's over.
Right then and there.
He tells Herzog, "Get a doctor in here. I can't see." Doctor comes in. Herzog's walking around saying, "I got to start the fight. I got to start the fourth round, and then we can call it." We'll get into that. Fourth round starts, immediately stops. They call it off. It goes to decision. Read the scorecard. Song Yadong won everything, so he wins. It's a win. Not a no contest, not a DQ.
Which if it would have been stopped before, right? After the
Yes.
eye poke, would
Yes.
have been a no
So
contest.
exactly. So this is the actual rules
Ooh.
regarding this,
You
right?
came ready with the rules, huh?
Look, we got to do our homework, right? Um, if an accidental foul causes injury severe enough for the referee to stop the bout, it's a no contest or disqualification if it's stopped before. This is a 5-round fight, so we're only going to talk about that. before 3 rounds have been completed of 5 rounds, right? So before the majority of rounds have finished, it's either a no contest or disqualification.
Ooh.
Disqualification only if they deem it intentional, right? If it was unintentional, it's a no contest. If it was an intentional foul, then it's a disqualification. The other option is if a foul causes an injury severe enough for the referee to stop the bout after 3 rounds have been completed of a 5-round fight, it's a technical decision. So
Mm.
people also coming at Herzog in this situation, I think it's unfounded because the third round was finished because Henry, after 5 minutes of rest or waiting, recovery, he decided to continue because he's a dog, and they finished the round. That sealed his fate right there. At that point, if they can't continue after the round has ended, it has to go to technical decision. It has to. I think where people are confused is Herzog saying, I have to start the 4th round so we go to decision. And people are thinking that he's choosing to go one way instead of offering a no contest or something like
Yeah.
that. But it's out of his control. The whole start the 4th round thing, it's just a formality. It's not like he's choosing, I'm going to do this so it goes to decision instead of a disqualification. No matter what, it's a disqualification or a no contest. Um, he just has to do the
Mm.
formality thing, which is stupid, but that's how these things work sometimes. Um, the only thing that could have changed this is if Henry said he couldn't continue during that 5-minute recovery window. That's the
Yeah.
only thing. If he did that, then it would probably be a no contest.
Yes.
But he's a dog.
Are we not concerned about the fact that there was just no point deducted either?
We can get into that too.
That to me is the
Yeah.
most frustrating part. Like, I get all
Yes.
the other stuff, but it's like, come on. And I actually tweeted that out last night where I was like, the fighters know the rules. They warn the fighters in the locker
Mhm.
room before they go in. And yet we have a severe eye poke, 2 eyes. The left one was the one that got damaged the most,
Captain
right?
Insano, dude.
Dude, but uh it changed the fight dramatically. And even if Henry would have been able to continue going, which he did try, he said, I still can't see. What if Herzog would have taken the point right then and there? Said, hey, that was pretty bad. Point taken away. How would the fight would have ended, even if they did go to a decision?
Draw. Would have been a draw. Which that's the next best thing if you can't do a no contest, right? Because then it
I'm
would have
just
been
saying, man.
wait, would it have been a draw? Let me do the math really quick. Am I stupid? It would be 9-9-9 for Henry. It would be 10-10-9. So no, Song Yadong still would have won.
What do you?
I think
Wait,
so,
what would
right?
have been the scores again?
Henry would have had because he lost all 3 rounds, right? Yeah, there's the eye.
There was one
Can you
30-27, and the
can
other
you
ones
talk
were 29-28, I think.
can you
So
talk really quick while I pull this up? Just talk about how people are saying that he faked the whole thing, and just talk about this picture while I pull this up.
well, yeah, but before we do, I'm going to say Ghost says, let me mention the Mark Ratner is employed by the UFC to be
Yeah,
rules and regs guy for the broadcast. How useless is that dude? I had no idea he was actually hired on for that because the entire time, everybody on the broadcast was extremely confused,
yeah,
as
it's
was
crazy.
I.
Normally they
Um,
pull him in and he gives his expert opinion, and it's useless. And you're like, and then you'll hear like Herb Dean or someone who actually like is on top of things, or Herzog in the cage contradict exactly what he just said on the broadcast, and you're like, why is this guy still doing this? What is going on with this guy?
Austin says, I like Song, but there 100% should have been a deduction. Once again, rules are only suggestion in the UFC. Look, I feel you. That's the exact same thing I was thinking. Um, it's one of those things where we continue seeing these bad fouls over and over again and nothing happening.
Yeah, it
Why
would have
should
been
a
a
fighter
majority draw,
change?
by the way. I
Yeah.
just pulled it up. It would have been a majority
Yeah,
draw.
Blunderbuff, shout out Blunderbuff says majority draw, right?
Oh, perfect. Yes. Yes.
Blunderbuff,
Two
two
judges
cards
gave
would
it
have been
29
28,
28.
28. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I
So
remember thinking because one of them was 30-27, at which point Cejudo looked
South,
over around
South
confused saying,
Imata.
who the hell scored that?
It was
And
South
then
Imata.
29-28, 29-28. And so I remember thinking to myself, like, that would have been a draw.
This is crazy though, because not one scorecard was the same. Mike Bell gave Henry the second round, which is insane to me.
Mm.
Derek clearly gave him the third round, which I actually surprisingly agree with Derek clearly. I thought first 2 rounds Song Yadong, third round Henry, and then Sal gave Song all 3 rounds. So not one unanimous scorecard,
Wow.
or not even an agreed upon scorecard. I mean, yeah, I don't know. So I think the point deduction thing is we've talked about it all the time. Refs, Mark Goddard was just on Bisping's podcast and he asked him about that. He's like, "Why are we not taking points immediately now? Everybody knows the rules. This will stop them or make them be more careful." And there's a couple answers, but I think the big one for refs is that they don't want to, because the 10-point must scoring system. 1 point deduction alters the fight so significantly that sometimes a fence grab, grabbing the shorts, an eye poke, a groin strike, things like that don't weigh more than what a point deduction would be. So they don't want to influence the fight that much off of a foul when the foul is a sliding scale, so of severity, right? So we can't just blanket start deducting a point off of a foul right away because not all fouls are the same, but a point deduction is always the same. That's their argument, at least. I'm not saying that's what I believe. I'm just saying that's kind of what it seems like refs are thinking about it. Yeah. Ghost says, "Did you say Derek clearly?" I always call him Derek clearly because he's usually very wrong, like he can't see clearly. But I thought you had the right thing on here. But yeah, I mean it's a shit show, dude. It sucks, and I feel for Henry because he's had a lot of success. I'm not always his biggest fan. Like outside his
King of
antics being
cringe,
there.
as they call him.
Yeah, and just not even it's like not even good cringe. Like that's the thing that sucks. But I feel for him here because it did seem like he was, in my opinion, he was starting to build. Once he switched southpaw, he started landing some big shots on Song Yadong, and it seemed like Song Yadong was completely puzzled by him being southpaw towards the end of that third round. So that sucks. And those championship rounds are somewhere in a fight that Henry's going to thrive. That's like his bread and butter, right? How many times have we
Yeah,
seen these championship caliber fighters? That's what separates them from the good,
the
makes them
championship
elite,
rounds.
is because of the championship rounds. So he was kind of robbed of that from a foul. And you know the most frustrating part about it, coming from someone who was rooting for Song Yadong, was after that 5 minutes, there's 45 seconds left. They start, and his fingers are immediately out
Right
in
out
front
again.
again, and it's just like, oh my god, dude.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
And man, you can even hear the who was it? It was Bisping and what's his name? Paul Felder. That were both
Yeah,
just like uber frustrated. You could tell it just by the way
yeah,
that they were talking. They're like, and his hands are right. His fingers are out
yeah,
again.
yeah,
Like right now, they're out again. And I get it. I get it. But
yeah.
man, it was a frustrating thing. And then somebody had asked, if we see Cejudo going on another run. And look, you have Cejudo, who just lost to Song Yadong, but then ahead of Song Yadong at this point, if they swap places, will be Chito Vera, Davison Figueiredo, Corey Sandhagen, Umar Nurmagomedov, Piotr Jan, Sean O'Malley. So to answer that question, I do not see him going on another title run.
I wouldn't rule it out, to be honest. He's old. I don't think he'll do it, but I would never rule it out, or I would not. I wouldn't say never. In 5 years, it's ruled out, right? But I wouldn't rule it out. There's still matchups stylistically that I think he can win. But this is a pretty big setback. Coleslaw says, where'd he go? What did he say?
That might have been the question that I had called out.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, I could see him beating someone like Cheeto Vera. He beats Cheeto Vera. He beats Rob Font. Um, he beats
Is that where it stops?
shit.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I
Maybe
don't see
not,
him
dude.
making another run. I don't think he beats Davison Figueiredo would be a tough matchup for him.
I don't know.
But
He's coached him,
doable.
so he
But
knows what to
doable.
do, right?
But doable.
Yeah.
I don't see him getting past Corey, Umar, Piotr, Sean O'Malley.
He's still a horrible matchup for O'Malley, I think.
You think so?
I think so. Ghost
I don't
says
even
to
know if
Will,
he gets past Song Yadong if they rematch.
he starts to fight Southpaw, he does.
I don't know, man.
uh, dude, yeah, Ghost says to add to Will, Cejudo was landing the Southpaw jab. Would have loved to see him build on it. Yeah, I think you joined after we talked about that. Once he switched Southpaw, uh, whether it was game plan or because he had to because his left leg was so chewed up. He started landing his jab, and then he was building, and then before the eye poke. So that's why we mean it would have been cool to see him continue that build into the fourth round and into the fifth round, but we never got to see it.
Hey everybody, Romero and Will here. Thank you for watching that short clip. Just so you know, that was a small excerpt from what we covered this last Sunday, right, Will?
Yeah, we cover the entire event every weekend. So this was just a cutout from the live stream that we did. The link to that live stream is in the description. So if you want to hear about the other fights that night, it's down below in the description. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell because we go live every Sunday to cover events. And if you do that, you'll know for next week and you can tune in and be in the chat and get featured on the show just like everybody else was on this clip.
We hope to chat with you live.